with the start of the NBA season finally here, the Warriors have a lot to worry about, especially the challenge that this season will bring. The Warriors, of course, are the defending NBA champions, and with that said, there's going to be a lot of teams gunning for the Golden State Warriors because of how dominant they are, and there's going to be many teams looking to exploit the Warriors' weaknesses, which there are not a lot of weaknesses on the Warriors' end, but there are weaknesses there. And the Warriors play at a really high tempo they play at a really high tempo on offense, and they're really great on their fast break offense is pretty great as well, and they're known as one of the best teams on defense on the defensive end, and they're just pretty great on both ends of the court, and that's what leads to their big success. And adding Kevin Durant only leads to more success for them. They have a pretty stacked roster, and the Warriors were in the land of untouchables last season, the NBA's second best squad. The Cavaliers were crushed by the Warriors in 5 games in the finals, yet as the Warriors were enjoying the soils of their 5th finals victory, the rest of the Western Conference got better. Chris Paul landed in Houston, Paul George and Melo were shipped to Oklahoma City, and Jimmy Butler was swapped to Minnesota. Meanwhile, the Cavaliers were looking at the disintegration of their conference, but had to deal with losing Kyrie Irving and struggling to trade him due to the weak market for him. The Cavs would later go on to trade Kyrie Irving to the Celtics for Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, and Ante Zizic, as well as a 2018 first-round pick and an additional 2020 second-round pick. Yet the issue over Thomas's health remains a dire situation in Cleveland. If Thomas can't bounce back from the hampering injury, the Cavs will have to rely on another injury-prone guard in Derrick Rose, who was just injured 3 days ago in a battle with the Bucks. And the injury for Derrick Rose is not looking great. For the past 6 years, he's been known as a player who can't play in a full NBA season. But with a healthy Isaiah Thomas, the Cavs have a real shot at giving the Warriors a real run for their money. And right now, Isaiah Thomas's injury is looking pretty serious as well. So there's no telling when Isaiah Thomas can return. But many people are hoping that he can return. There's no guarantees in an injury. So hopefully he can return in time enough to be able to make the NBA Finals, which it's not going to be no real hard task for the Cavs, being that the East is pretty weak, especially with the injury of Gordon Hayward. The Celtics were the only team in my eyes that I really saw that could have stood a chance to the Cavaliers. And the Warriors in the Western Conference, they have a lot to worry about. There's no guarantees for the Warriors that they will make it to the finals. Paul George, Russell Westbrook, and Carmelo Anthony are together, and at least from that you can tell that that's going to be a pretty dominant offense. And the only thing that the Oklahoma City have that they don't have is a lack of a great bench. And if they can adopt that this season, the Warriors gonna have a lot more to worry about. And the Warriors started off the season 0-1. They lost to the Houston Rockets. They came out pretty hot, and they just couldn't keep the lead. Kevin Durant and Steph Curry just recently got ejected in a game versus the Mavericks. The Warriors situation right now is basically, they're poised. They're having trouble keeping their points right now, and they're having trouble, finishing off games. And the Warriors, their offense is going to be pretty great. Of course, they're going to have to work on certain things to get back to that top level that they played last season. But, I'm not really worried about that. And, many people see the Warriors as the high favorites to make it to the finals, being that their team is so stacked. And if the Cavs, if Isaiah Thomas returns in time enough, as well as Derrick Rose, it's going to be a huge challenge for the Golden State Warriors, and it's going to be a great NBA Finals. And that's pretty much it. There's a link in the description for my social media. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. And thank you.
Am I wrong? Cause I wanna get it on till I die. Am I wrong? Cause I wanna get it on till I die. Get it on till I die.